Welcome to Joburg Today. I am your host, Leroy Viaggi. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure out that we live in one of the best cities in the world, Johannesburg. And if you don't believe me, just look through the eyes of the IGERS. Liberty and Christy Straver have partnered together to launch Joburg Through the Eyes of the IGERS, a book dedicated to capturing the best of Joburg through the lens of photographers and Instagrammers. Joburg Today speaks to Kili Basela, head of Liberty's Consumer and Trade Marketing Division, to understand their reason behind Liberty's support of such an initiative.
So this was an opportunity for Liberty, through Christy and the IGERS, to partner them in sharing the amazing Joburg stories and its rich culture. Joburg is also the birthplace of our organization. It's also where our founder, Donnie Gordon, realized his dream of changing realities. So it was easy for us to support Christy because we wanted to give her the opportunity to realize her dream. What we realize more and more is that the arts are actually a powerful tool in unlocking social capital. And that can only happen through collaboration. And that we see through this initiative of Joburg Through the Eyes of IGERS.
We also engaged with the members of the event's discussion panel who shared with us their views of social media and its impact on Joburg.
I think the wonderful thing about social media and Instagram in particular is the agency that it gives to people. It almost implores all of us to be creative, to capture and describe our own experiences, to be expressive, and to share it globally. And it's such a pervasive phenomenon. And I love the fact that you're giving agency to people. It's very liberating. I mean, creativity is not the preserve of a particular class, of a particular kind of people who dress funny, who are tattooed, ponytailed, or pierced. We all have the capacity to be creative. It's like a muscle. We need to exercise it.
Well, firstly, I think the term influencer has just been so overused, and anyone with a strong following on Instagram is now an influencer. But I really don't think that's the criteria. That's the qualifying criteria. An influencer to me is someone who authentically influences me through their lifestyle choices. So for me, there shouldn't be a separation between your online profile and your offline profile. Those things should be seamless and a continuation of one another. But we sure know that Instagram democratizes that message and democratizes those images. And you know, now more than ever, information is instantaneous and things can trend within seconds.
Liberty's engagement in this product in terms of creativity is very significant as a corporate that is really engaging the creative sector and really seeing value what the creative sector can do in terms of many things, in terms of what it can do in society, but also what it can do for themselves, the corporate business. And as Business and Arts South Africa, our engagement is about leveraging the relationship between business and the arts. And Liberty is a pure example of that, where it's connecting creativity and the arts to what they are doing. They understand that the arts or creativity are an entryway to other skills and other prospects as well.
I'm Leroy Viaggi for Joburg Today. Be a part of the conversation by following our Facebook page. That's joburgtoday.tv. Follow the real trend in Joburg on our Twitter account at Joburg Today. DISCOP Africa 2016 was hailed as a complete success for the lucrative film and media industry, with African viewers becoming more diverse in the content they consume, both on television and through the internet.
Launched in 2012, DISCOP Johannesburg is rooted in Africa's fast-emerging multi-screen, multi-platform marketplace.
We've been organizing DISCOP markets for the last 25 years. This is the 25th anniversary of the DISCOP market brand. We've been organizing markets in emerging world regions, Central and Eastern Europe, Central Asia, Far East, Middle East, and we decided to launch DISCOP markets for the sub-Saharan African continent in 2008. So we did a few markets in Senegal, in Ghana, in Kenya, and 5 years ago we decided to hold 2 markets a year permanently, one in Johannesburg that takes place in early November, and one in Abidjan, which takes place in early June.
If you're a broadcaster, content producer, distributor, or any other relevant stakeholder in the business of television and broadcasting, well, this is the platform on which to engage with potential clients, to forge new business relationships, to discuss issues plaguing the industry. What's interesting to note is that while the agenda has always been about the African story, sharing more African stories with African viewers, this kind of event attracts international players who are hungry to enter the African market, to share international content with Africans who now have a very diverse appetite for content viewing. Interestingly, Africa has a very healthy appetite for Indian content. Z World says their current offerings are doing relatively well.
In terms of content, our content is doing really well in places like Kenya, Ghana, Nigeria. These would be probably our largest markets. And in the French-speaking African countries, I'd say Senegal, Ivory Coast, the island, Indian Ocean Islands. These are places where again our content is doing really well for us. Most of our content is either dubbed in English. In certain countries, especially like in Ghana, they're even dubbed in their local dialect. In fact, we've just started with a program that's dubbed in Kikuyu in Kenya, for example. So we know that our content is actually reaching the local audiences rather than just the Indian diaspora. ZTV has always been there, and it's been catering to the Indian, to the sort of the appetite for the Indian audiences. But now we're looking at, and now the popularity that I was referring to is actually more with the local audience.
Intra Communications, a content distribution company based in the US, is attending DISCOP Africa for the second time.
We came here last year, first time to see what all this about, and we was very impressed by warm hospitality of African people. So when we came back, we decided for us time to go to Africa. So we invested money and we come up with brand new catalog for 2016, 2017 with new television programming, very fresh, very new. This is programming special done for entire family, because we just starting work here, and our first goal to establish our company here on the market as distributor. The next step what we see is to start produce local programming, produced some programming for local TV stations, and after, when we're going to be successful with this, next step will be to take African programming and try to sell on different territory where it can get some interest.
For local independent content distributors like Quest, it is the fictional series they are interested in. Offering insight to the industry, they have identified funding as a huge challenge in Africa.
The main difficulties and issue are to help understand the TV station and the broadcasters the value of the African production. When we work with a TV station, they usually don't recognize the value and the price that they have to give to producer. They want high quality production. So we're trying to improve this channel, value channel of the production, where TV stations have to understand that they need first to give the right money to the producer if they want great quality and premium content.
Well, despite challenges, Africa's television industry continues to show strong year-to-year growth. In 2015, Africa generated $1 billion in TV wholesale business, a 100% revenue increase in 2 years. Nashina Mohammed for Joburg Today.
Hey, what up? This is Boots, and you're watching Joburg Today.
Well, that's it for today's show, but if you want to know more about what's happening in and around Johannesburg, you better check out our playlist. From me, Leroy, and the guys behind the scenes, until next time.